Total to Brief Flanagan's 4 minutes.
Thank you, Les Carla. I just want first of all to congratulate Deputy Stanley for bringing forward this very important bill, and I will be supporting it. And having listened to Deputy Stanley and read up about this so-called expert group on fluoridation, you'd have to kind of conclude that it's a bit like, I don't know, did any of you back in the 80s and the 90s read a comic called Viz? Well, every now and then they'd have an ad in it where a child would have a stick of lard in his mouth, and up above it, it would say, "Lard is good for you." And in small writing underneath it said, "The Lard Council." Sounds a bit like this expert group. They're not quite that independent. Now, before I heard the Minister's speech, I was under a little bit of an illusion that maybe he might support this, and that illusion is based on the fact that your government, before you got into government, well, Fine Gael anyways, told us that they were against fluoridation. And I'll quote, "Fine Gael believes that there are sufficient grounds to point to serious health risks from cumulative amounts of fluoride in our piped water supply system," according to a new policy document that they brought out. It says there are deep environmental concerns about the current programme of fluoridation of the country's water supplies aimed at reducing tooth decay. I wonder what's changed. Less than 2% of Europe's population have fluoridated their water, and a number of countries had rejected, discontinued or banned the practice. And they were so good to inform us, Fine Gael, that the Dutch also introduced a constitutional amendment so that it could never be reintroduced. Mass hysteria, obviously, even by your government partners on this, if what you say is correct. Fine Gael said that there were claims of allergic responses to fluoridated water, including skin irritations, mouth ulcers, headaches, stomach upset, and it could also cause irritable bowel syndrome. Now, last year when Mount Hawk School from Kerry came in here and gave a presentation in the AV room and educated a lot of us on this topic, Fine Gael and government representatives went in there and fell over themselves to tell them they were going to do something about it. Well, nothing is going to be done about it by the looks of things, and actually worse still, if they wanted to come in and give a presentation today because of the open and transparent government that we now have, they wouldn't be allowed to give a presentation in the AV room because there shall be no dissent. That is your main policy, really. So, if it is such a good idea to fluoridate your water, why does the vast majority of Europe reject it? And if it's such a good idea, why aren't we top of the league table when it comes to dental health? We're not. Belgium, Germany and Greece are ahead of us, and they do not fluoridate their water. Now, it isn't just Fine Gael who told us that we're going to do something about this, but Labour's chief whip, who is going to whip people into voting against this bill, is actually in favour of banning it. And he said there is overwhelming evidence that fluoridation causes damage to the human body.
1 minute.
The idea of compulsorily applying it to every citizen who uses the public water supply is archaic in the extreme. Your chief whip. This evidence against fluoridation collected by serious scientists is being presented to the minister, yet he seems to be relying solely on the expert group. What's new there? I think the minister needs to look beyond that group, the Lard Council basically, at the large volume of counter-evidence that is available, including from dental experts about the necessity for this continued forced treatment. Listen to your own whip.
Come on,